Many of us move to Los Angeles to pursue a dream of breaking into the film industry. We get to know our beloved characters on screen, but who is the person behind the camera? I'm your show host, Olivia Lyle, and welcome to Coffee and Conversations. Wendy, welcome to Coffee and Conversations. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. It's an honor.
You are our very first guest, so this is very exciting.
Wow, that's even more of an honor. Wow, thanks for having me, Coffee and Conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our very first and most important question is, what is your favorite coffee?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm originally from Australia, so I am very into my coffee. I'm very, very particular about it. So I love an almond milk latte with honey on the side.
On the side, so you can put it in yourself.
Yes, because it can't be too sweet. It's got to be just right.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Can you just give us a bit of a general backstory on who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Sure. We'll probably need a few hours, so I'll try and put it into a concise little story. But you know what? I've been told that what you do when you're a little kid, what you play at, should be your vocation. And I used to put shows on for my grandfather. I'd make my brother and sister be in them, reluctantly, and I'd charge him an entry fee. So I think from a young age, I knew that it was show business. Yeah. But it took me a while to get there because I was brought up that acting is not a career. So I started out, I wanted to be a lawyer because I wanted to make a difference in the world. I think one of the things I've realized is I have a common thread that's what I want to do, you know. But I thought I would become a lawyer and fight for people, but I didn't want to go to school for that long. Yeah. So I became a cop and I did that for 5 years, but I was 19 and I really felt like I was just putting Band-Aids on and I was too young to stand up and be counted on a few things. So I left and I then got offered a job in real estate and I became the #1 realtor in Australia.
Congrats.
Thank you. But it kept on, it wasn't feeding my soul. I always wanted to be an actor, I think. And so finally I moved to London and studied theatre there at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. I did Shakespeare, etc. And then did some theatre and a little bit of film and TV there. But then I decided to come to LA because that's the center of the universe.
That's right, Hollywood, baby.
Yeah, but it took me a while to get there. So, so that's it. Yeah,
That's your journey. What was the transition like from Australia to London to America?
Yeah, it's very humbling because I was actually the #1 realtor in Australia. I was a $1 billion realtor before the $1 million listing guys. So it was quite humbling to start over. And I think I was kind of one of the oldest people in my acting class, you know, and stuff like that. So that was quite challenging, but also exhilarating. You know, I was learning and exciting and in a new city and every day something new. And, you know, there's so much to do, you know, peripherally around the entertainment industry here. So that was exciting. But I was finding that I was starting to get some really good auditions because I was in the top acting class, you know, and but I was second in line all the time to the, you know, famous, bankable people, and rightly so. They've been working for many years on series, etc., building up their repertoire. So I started creating my own work,
which I want to talk about. You're right, Death on the Border. Honestly, congratulations. This is your very first directorial debut. Such a heavy topic and such a moving film. What inspired this story?
Yes, this was, it's inspired by true events from when I was a cop, but I actually combined a few stories in it, but I really wanted to shine a light on domestic violence. It actually happened to me, which I never talked about for many years. I was a cop and I was 19 and I used to go to domestics and I would think, why did this woman stay, you know, with her violent husband? And then after I left the police force, I was in a domestic violence relationship myself. So it was very tough at first, but I think this is the great thing about filmmaking, being a creative artist. It's very cathartic. Yeah. So I used it in my work. So there was that. And then also trafficking of children sex trafficking is the fastest growing crime in the world. So I wanted to incorporate those two things.
And I know you wore many hats, both on and off set, which is such a big undertaking. What was that process like for you?
Oh, wow. Have you got a few hours? Because it was eye-opening. Basically, everything that could go wrong went wrong. The one thing I did get very validated on was I feel validated as a director. I directed Danny Trejo and Eric Roberts. And I think Eric is going for the Guinness Book of Records for the most roles ever acted in.
Oh, crazy.
So he has been on, I think over 600 movies maybe. You can check on IMDb. But they were very excited to be together. I didn't even know that Danny and Eric, it was a reunion for them. Eric got Danny his first movie role in Runaway Train. So that was pretty exciting. And I have some BTS where Eric said, I'm one of the best directors he's ever worked with.
How was it working with director Wendy Wilkins on this film?
Working with Wendy Wilkins is a dream come true. This woman is one of the coolest women I know because of the fact that she's so definite. She's really specific. And as a man and as an actor, I love that.
So
amazing.
that was very validating because we had a couple of other actors that I would never cast again. So, which was amazing to me. You know, they were very unprofessional and also have not been supportive of the movie. So that not promoting, not doing anything. And so I would say, note to filmmakers, my second movie, which I'm prepping some things now, find out how they were on their last two projects. Not just one, that's cast, crew, everybody. But yeah, I mean, I'll give you some examples of some things that went wrong, some little things and then some big things. But the first day out in Lancaster, our picture car didn't arrive. So we had to wait for that. We had to change things. The truck where the sex trafficked girls are in, I told the crew that do not go off the dirt road because you will get bogged. They went off the dirt road. We had to get them. Yeah, even before we started filming, which leads me to the next thing. We had employed a criminal, we didn't know at the time, con man producer. I was only supposed to write and direct. So all that stuff was going wrong because he wasn't doing his job and I was busy directing, not knowing he wasn't doing his job.
Then you got to put on that producer hat as well.
Yeah, so then a few days into filming, one of our main actors got COVID, so we had to shut down. And that's when all the wheels fell off, and that's when I took over. Had to rewrite. Thank goodness I was the writer as well. But in the end, I think it's ended up a better movie. But I don't know if I'd want to go through all that again.
Yeah, such a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
But you did it. It's over now, and it's out now. So where can our audiences watch your film?
Yeah, and that's very important. That there's two things from that one, not only am I getting some kudos for making the movie, I'm getting kudos from some pretty big directors I know and people in the industry that I actually finished the movie and made it save the movie and made it work, considering that criminal producer, who, by the way, is still trying to sabotage the movie. I know, he's literally crazy. But it is out. I've got my mojo back. And actually, it had a theatrical release. It was on all the major platforms, and it's just gone to Amazon Prime.
Yay.
And Tubi, so you can watch it there. So
Amazing.
And I think you watched it on YouTube.
YouTube,
Yeah.
Apple TV,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
A lot of platforms.
Yes.
You got them all covered.
Yes. So pretty excited about that. I've got my mojo back, and now I'm prepping for another movie. Yeah.
Okay, another one. So what's it going to be? Can you share any insights with us?
Yeah, I've got a few at various stages, but one that I'm writing at the moment, I'm excited about because we'll probably film that first. And it's going to be a hard undertaking, but I was asked to write this
You
movie.
like that, apparently.
Yeah, well, I didn't think this one was going to be a hard undertaking, actually. Now I've learned everything not to do, But this one, I was asked to write this, and it's set in a location which is like a Western town. So I am trying to write kind of Blazing Saddles and a Monty Python dark comedy, Western, but female-focused and shining a light on women's rights. So dark comedy, yeah. So I'm actually having fun writing it. So So I'm doing that. I also wrote another dark comedy, romantic, but actually a director friend of mine said, I can't call it a romantic comedy because it's Emily in Paris meets Get Out. So we might, the lead guy might be a cannibal. So he said, you can't have a romantic comedy with a cannibal in it. I'm like, I don't know about that.
We're inventing something brand new.
Yeah,
here.
and we're not convinced he is yet. So, so there's that. And I'm also developing very early stages a TV series based on my memoir, Sex, Love and Cops. Yeah.
Which we have right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love it. So cute. Which is kind of Sex and the City vibes, correct?
Yes, exactly. I wrote it in mind and inspired by Sex and the City because I grew up with my girlfriends watching that. I was inspired by that, and I wanted to be like Sex and the City but with cops.
So fun.
Yeah, but also, everything I do has a through line that I want to change the world and make it a better place, even if it's one person at a time. So what I've noticed is, I was a cop at 19, but things haven't changed that much. We still have problems with diversity, with prejudice, with, all of that. So I think the great thing about narrative form instead of a documentary, and I heard a documentary filmmaker talk about this saying narrative form, no, she actually did a narrative, an Oscar-winning nominated short about abortion, and recently, and I went to a screening, and she said that with narrative form, your audience sort of buys into it more and goes along the journey, whereas, with a documentary, they might not so much. So yes, I didn't even think that, but I like to write narrative form because I want people to, even with Death on the Border, as you know, it's very difficult subject matter, but I wanted you to enjoy the journey watching the movie, which you wanted me to say my favorite quote, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Enjoy the journey, don't worry about the destination.
Yeah, which I feel like is so complimentary to your life and going as a cop to the film industry.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced a moment since being in the film industry where you really wanted to quit and just give it all?
Yeah, halfway through making this movie, I was like, I'm never doing this again. But as I said, I was starting to get my mojo back. But I think most actors, filmmakers, I think I would say have almost quit, a lot. Because it's really challenging.
The grind is real.
Yeah, and it's not getting any easier, especially if you want to do good work, So, yeah, I think that's part of the challenge of being a creative. And also judging yourself and do you have it in you again and all those things.
Okay, Wendy, so we're going to wrap up here soon, but last question for you. If we could jump back 20 years and you could give your younger self a piece of advice, what would you say to her?
Oh, my God, Olivia. I don't know what it would be. Don't go into the film industry. No, I don't know. No.
You love it.
Yeah. No, I would say, it's funny because it's a double-ended answer. In one way, I would say don't worry so much about your career. But on the other side, I was so busy studying, I probably thought I wasn't ready to do some of the acting jobs I was offered. Probably do a bit more because you learn by doing, So, yeah, don't be afraid, to be challenged.
Sounds good. Sounds very good. I feel like you have such an amount of wealth and knowledge and experience under your belt. I could talk to you forever, but thank you so much for joining us today. And let me know where they can also find your book.
Yes.
But we'll put the link below for sure.
Okay.
But where primarily can they find their book?
Amazon, I think. Yeah, and if you Google Wendy Wilkins, I think everything comes up.
Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Thank you, Olivia. It was a pleasure. So easy to talk to, and you've got such a beautiful smile. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for Coffee and Conversations. You can follow us on social media in the links below. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you'd like to be a featured guest on Coffee and Conversation, send us an email and let us know you're interested. I'll see you next time.